they say nobody from the east side can win. And they're saying, well, he's only raised $600,000, so he doesn't have the money. Folks, it's not about money. Yeah, we're going to have money. It's about votes. How do we get those votes? By each one of you going out there and touching the people of your inner circle. When you go home tonight, take your answer machine, erase your message, get back on there and say, we're not home here right now, but make sure you vote for Clint Didier for U.S. Senate. Sit out in your house, vote Clint Didier, U.S. Senate, throw it in the mail. Everybody that handles it looks at it. You know, they say they need a new information highway. I want to take the old road and I want to take it back to the Constitution is what I want to do. We can do it. Now, I don't see a lot of young people here tonight. Quite frankly, that's why we're all here, is for the youth. They've been indoctrinated. That's why I want to get rid of the Department of Education. I want to get rid of this higher education, giving these kids this free money to go to college. They want it, they earn it. Because we need farm workers out there. If we want to get rid of this workforce from the South, then let's get rid of this child labor law so we can start working our youth. And when I say youth, I'm not talking about little kids, for 12 to 18-year-olds. Let's let them go to work. Develop a work ethic and a self-worth and the self-gratification of earning money and whether to spend it or save it. Those are critical decisions that are learned at an early age. Big dividends. Now, Charlton Heston, he said that the American dream is not success or riches. It's freedom. Freedom. And the most powerful movie I've ever watched is Braveheart. And it's a true story about William Wallace and Scotland trying to get to freedom from the Scottish nobles who are being reined in by the English king and all the lords. And in that movie, when William wanted to go to war with his dad and his brother, they said, oh no, William, you got to stay and watch the farm. And they left and they came back and both killed him. And William's dad was laying on that slab of rock. And William went to him and he touched his body and it was cold and he pulled back his hand. And that night, he dreamt of his dad on that slab of rock. And his dad rolled his head over, opened his eyes, and he says, William, your heart is free. Have the courage to follow it. I'm asking each one of you to have that courage. Let's have that desire, that determination to preserve this country for our kids. Let's give it our all because I truly believe this is it. If we don't get it done in 2010, we're done. We're bankrupt now, folks. And it's going to take some very strong people to go back there, to have the courage to do what needs to be done. Not only balancing the budget, but we've got to start cutting government. And we've got to get rid of government agencies that are regulating our businesses out of the country and regulating the ones that are here to bankruptcy. And quite frankly, we need to be talking to our unions. The union members are just like any one of us. They're hard-working people, but they're being misrepresented by their leadership. Just like our federal government, they're leading down to the road to unemployment, demanding way too much to where the employer can't make a profit. He goes bankrupt. It's common sense. It's common sense. So I'll end with that. I'll just end with, may God save these United States of America. Thank you.
Unfortunately, if it were people in this room electing you, you'd be elected tonight. But you know, you're preaching to the choir here. You know the people on the other side, they will not let common sense or facts or historical truth get in the way of their ideology. So the people that are going to elect you are going to be the independents. And I'd like to know what part of your game plan, two questions. I want to know what your game plan is to reach out to those independents and show them the adverse consequences of this entitlement mentality? And two, are you gonna treat Patty Murray like she's well intended but she's wrong, or are you gonna take her on like you would the Green Bay Packers?
Now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take her on like the Chicago Bears, because they had that 46 defense, and they created chaos at the line of scrimmage, and that's what it reminds me of today. Chaos. Yes. Chaos at the line of scrimmage is what we got going on today. You don't know where they're coming from next. They're blitzing us from everywhere right now. They're attacking the American dream. Okay, but how am I going to win the independents? There was another poll that was just done by a Democrat and a Republican, and it was a statewide poll. This is separate from the Rasmussen poll. It was done by a Republican and Democrat. It polled 110 people in every district, all 9 of them. Okay? It came back, Patty Murray at 33%, Clint Didier at almost 17%, and Dino Rossi at almost 16%. But the telltale was, Dino Rossi was all Republican votes. My votes comprised of 141 Democrats and 127 independents. Now, how I'm winning those votes is because my feet are firmly planted on the Republican platform, and they're not budging. I'm not giving an inch. This platform needs to be brought back to the Republican Party, because, let's be honest with ourselves, we had the ball for 8 years, and we got fired in 2008. And that's what allowed this regime to come into play. Now, why did we get fired? Believe me, I admired Bush for how he handled 9/11. I love the fact that he lowered tax rates. And it did grow our economy. But I can't handle the growth of government, the borrowing of money from other countries, the bill that was put forth. It was the, I'm thinking of the wrong one right now, because it's not in place right now. No, not TARP. It was the Patriot Act, yes. The Patriot Act was a direct hit on our personal liberties.
And prescription drugs.
Prescription drugs. Believe me, there's a lot of bad stuff that came out. That's why I'm sick and tired of watching Republicans reach across the aisle and get sucked in by that liberal left. It's time to bring them to the right. Believe me, this election in 2010 is critical. But you got to realize we're only going to get 1/3 of the Senate. Only 33 senators come up for re-election. The opportunity we have here is, besides to get that 1/3 of the Senate, is every member of the House is up for re-election. And I've often wondered why our founding fathers, as I read through the Constitution, the 5,000-year lead, why did they make the House of Representatives only 2 years? Now I know. Can you imagine if it was 4 years and we couldn't rein them in? But there's our opportunity. If we elect a new House of Representatives, we can defund the health care bill, the Wall Street bailout bill. We can get the funds back from the other ones. And believe me, there's $400 billion left in that stimulus package. Washington's going to see a bunch of that money because they want Patty Murray back in office. Beware. There's already news that Vancouver's going to get some really good news on Wednesday. Some of that stimulus money is going to come down there for their bridge. I'll guarantee it. They're going to start buying votes. Yes, sir.
The hit on you is that you came out being on the west side. What is your game plan to overcome that?
Okay, the question was, I can't win on the west side. By being firmly planted on the platform, we had a candidate forum already in King County, the Young Republicans, and the room was packed. There were 7 candidates there, but this was before Dino came into the race. All the other candidates from around that area, King County, Salazar, Ocoee, Acres, they're all from the west side. I won that poll. I won that poll. I've won every poll, or second on every poll that's been done in the state.